What's up, everyone? Marco and I are back for episode 2 of the Kale and Kettlebells podcast. In today's episode, we are going to provide predictions for the round of 16 in the Champions League. In our first episode, we just talked through the matchups and reflected on them and our thoughts. And today, we're going to pick winners, and we also have some live odds up on the screen. I'll start, and we're going to just go in order from top to bottom. So PSV Arsenal is the first game. Arsenal is walking wounded right now. PSV dispatched with Juventus. When I put those two things together, I would say of all the underdog odds, I'd like to think, even though Arsenal is a club, is a nice club and all that, I have to say there's a good possibility for an upset here. I think PSV's young and hungry. They're fighting for the league in Holland, so every game is a battle for them. They're ready for work. So if you have to pick an underdog, I think this is one good one. So this will be my first underdog pick, maybe not my last.
True. It's funny. We're thinking along the same lines. I actually did like PSV as an underdog for the exact reasons you mentioned. Also, yeah, Arsenal seems to have trouble scoring lately. So for what it's
Lack of
worth,
a striker will do that.
yeah. And yeah, look, Arsenal's heavily favored. In reality, I think these odds may not reflect the reality. I think PSV has a bit better odds than under 20% to go through. So I'm actually going to be in the same boat as you. I think some of our picks later on will be different, but this one will actually be the same. We're both going to see if the underdog in this matchup will win. So we're both going with PSV.
Yeah. We're biased because obviously we're going to want to choose a few underdogs as well. So I'm trying to, I try to choose the most
Yeah.
sound ones because certainly now we're going to go to Real Madrid, Atletico. And, I think historically in the Champions League, Atletico, his weakness has been a superstar from Real Madrid. I mean, Ronaldo has done them in a couple times with big performances in second legs. So, yeah, I mean, I have to pick Real Madrid for this game. I mean, it's going to be tough, and I cannot wait to watch the first leg tonight with you. So it's going to be a great time, but I can't go against Real Madrid in this tie. But hopefully Mbappe shows up like in the same way he did against City. If so, what are you going to do to stop that? It's
True.
going to be tough.
True. So you know what I'll do? I do believe Real Madrid is probably more likely to go through, but I am going to go for Atleti in this one.
No, that's
Another
reasonable.
underdog, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Um,
reasonable. Respect that.
Real Madrid is the best club in the world in this competition, and I would not be surprised if they go through the entire gauntlet and win. They can beat every single team in this competition, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say Atleti will be one of their absolute toughest matchups, and I think Atleti is underrated. Again, we talked about it last time, but they've brought in Julian Alvarez, who is a bona fide winner. This guy's a winner. Sorloth, great depth up front. A guy like Griezmann, and you look through their entire team. If there's a team in this
Simeone's son.
competition, yeah, I mean, realistically, if there's a team in this, okay, there's three teams basically in this competition that can beat Real Madrid: Atleti,
No,
Liverpool, and Barcelona. Right? If you look at the entire matchup,
that's not
I'm
unreasonable.
gonna say Atleti pulls up an upset here.
Yeah, what I think is that the first leg could go in their favor, but I think in the second leg, if Real Madrid falls short, I think they'll make up for it. But we're gonna find out. That's the joy of it.
Very interesting. And Real
Um,
Madrid has been faltering, right? Sort of, they're
Up
not
and down.
dominating
Yeah.
lately. They're not dominating every game lately. Some of them they are, and Mbappe scores a hat trick or a couple goals, and they look great. And then another game they lose to a team that maybe they shouldn't. And that's recent
Yeah.
performances. Atleti is showing they'll come back and tie Barcelona in the last minute of a game. They're tying these big teams last
A lot of
moment. They
heart.
never give up. A lot of heart, a lot of
Yeah.
hustle.
It's
So you
fair.
know what? Let's see.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. No, it's gonna be a good one. I'm very excited for that game. Equally excited for PSG Liverpool. I mean, PSG. It's again we talked about this last time. Good for Dembele. Good for Barcola. I mean, they're blazing ahead in the league, and that's all wrapped up. So that's an advantage for them. But this Liverpool team is special. It's too special. I can't with Salah's special season, the way everyone's playing, like Schloboschlei, like Nunez, McAllister, Van Dijk. I just don't see it. I think Liverpool's too good, too refined, and I think they have to advance. Yeah.
I think a lot of people would agree with that, myself included. Um, we're both picking Liverpool to go forward. But again, like I mentioned, the first episode, PSG may surprise people. But yeah, we're going with Liverpool, both of us.
No. And this game is the first leg of this game is actually going on right now. Funny enough, I mean, look, Marcus Rashford starting. Gotta love to see it. I mean, Rashford's one of the most inconsistent season to season players I've ever seen, but him at his best, and he's been playing pretty well for Villa so far. For that alone, I like to think like Bruges can upset Villa. I mean, Villa's not is a team that could lose this tie. Obviously, Bruges did well to advance in the last leg, but I got to go with Villa. I think Rashford and Asensio are playing really well for them on top of their talent, and they may never be in this position again for a long time. So I think they're going to grab it with both hands.
True.
So
yeah, and I'll be the first to say I don't know that much about Club Bruges, and I like the fact that Villa plays in such a competitive league and they're doing pretty well. Do you know what their current standing is in the Prem?
Villa is in like they're fighting for top five. I think they're sixth or seventh. Like there's no guarantee they even make the Champions League next year. Yeah.
But all things considered, and they're Hey, look, top 6-7 in the Prem is not bad at all. So I'm also going to go with Aston Villa here. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and then we have Benfica, Barcelona. I mean, I think these guys play in the group stage. It was a high scoring affair. I think this has a potential to be a high scoring affair, but I just don't see Benfica advancing. I just don't see it. I don't as kind of a neutral who wants to see the top teams in the later rounds. I don't want to see it. And I think Barcelona, is obligated to advance in this tie. And that's simple as that.
Yeah. And the only other thing I'll say about that, I fully agree. I think we're going to have Barcelona advancing even when we do these in the future for later rounds, assuming Barcelona does advance in this round. And I mentioned one factor I believe will be the case here is that they just played and Benfica made it an amazing game, and Barcelona barely made it out of that game in the last moments. And I think that Barcelona as a club, with whatever way they analyze and the tools they have, the players they have, the way they're going to analyze what went wrong to make that game so close, they're more well equipped than the Benfica side to perform better over these two legs. So I'll definitely have Barcelona going forward as well.
Yeah, let's see what look, Lamar, Rafinha, and Lewandowski. Like, what a fun three.
And look, their midfield is insane. Their defenders are fantastic. Their midfield is insane. Like they're so stacked, right?
100%. So the next tie gets very interesting. I mean, so just so people know, you and I are Canadian, right? So Jonathan David, we're well aware of his exploits, and I think he's got a lot of international attention. I mean, look, Jonathan David is capable of slaying Dortmund. You know what I mean? He's capable of popping in goals on both legs. Look, Dortmund, they're having an interesting season. They're not doing great in the Bundesliga. I mean, they've made it this far in the Champions League. They have Guirassy, who's a top scorer or very high scorer in both the Champions League and the Bundesliga. So he's in good form. This is going to be a good tie. I mean, I likely won't watch either of these ties, just given that there's more spicy matchups going on. So, I mean, look, I would love to see Dortmund Barcelona. I think that's a really sexy matchup. You know what I mean? But this is a coin flip because I think Lille, this is a big game for Lille. And I think Jonathan David is a big game player. So this is a coin flip for me.
True. So who are you? So that being said, if you have to pick one, hey, you know what I'll do? I'll say full disclosure. Again, Lille is one of those teams that I don't know as much about. I know more.
I'm going to go for Lille. I'm going to go for the underdog. So that's why I want Dortmund, Barcelona in the next round. I'm going to go with Lille, and we can revisit these predictions. It's actually fun because we have to be held account to our predictions.
So once both legs are done, we'll revisit these and recap and talk about what we've seen in this from what we've watched in this round. So I will go for Dortmund. I'd be a little more interested in Dortmund advancing, but fair play to Lille if they advance. Yeah.
Then we go to Munich, Leverkusen. I love this tie. This is the tie that Bayern deserves because they avoided City and Real Madrid, and they got Celtic last time, which they kind of just squeaked by. You know what? It's over two legs. I mean, look, but Bayern's probably going to win the Bundesliga this year. They really want to advance in this competition. I just never been big on Bayern. I think Bayer Leverkusen might surprise them over two legs. I guess we'll go for underdog again. It's a little bit risque. You gotta love Harry Kane, and I respect Harry Kane for him. You want to see him go on, but I'm gonna go with Leverkusen on this one. Bayern they don't impress me that much in all honesty.
That's fair. As I alluded to in the first episode, I'm not a literal fan of Leverkusen historically, but I'm a big fan of what they did last year. And because of how well they did last year, they're in this competition, a team that historically isn't a winning, a sort of trophy winning team. I'd love to see Leverkusen advance. And supposedly they actually performed. I don't know what the score was between these last two. They played recently in their domestic
Yeah, it was a
league.
0-0 draw. They played
Okay.
well. They should have won at home.
Who
And
Leverkusen should have won at home?
Leverkusen, and
Yeah.
they kind of needed to win because the title race
Okay. Yeah.
is Bayern's gonna have to screw up. I mean, the title race in the Bundesliga, it's not as bad as France. France is a horrible title race, but the Bundesliga title race is it's tough. Like Bayern's gonna have
Yeah.
to drop points, but I don't know Bayern. Hey, they have it in them.
Sure.
To
Yeah.
we'll
Anyone,
see.
I guess, in the way we're looking at this is saying 60-40 in favor of Bayern, Munich, but we think it's probably a little closer to 50-50. And actually, both of us here are going to go with the underdog on paper. I would like to see Leverkusen pull it off and advance in this competition over Bayern Munich.
Yeah, and then the last tie is the biggest disparity in odds. And I gotta put my faith in Inter to make things right. The only Italian team left. I mean, the most, probably the deepest squad, in recent history, the best Italian team. They have to do what their neighbors Milan couldn't do, and they have to win this game. And I would love to see them against Leverkusen or Bayern Munich. Either one would be an incredible quarterfinal. But they have to be. I mean, look, with all due respect to Feyenoord, I think Robin van Persie's the coach. That'll probably give them a lift. And obviously, they deserve to be where they are. They're doing just okay in the Dutch league right now. But yeah, Inter has to win this game. That's it. I can't even fathom anything to the contrary. It's just not a good look for Italy. So they have to win.
Makes sense for the exact reasons you're pointing out. I think if there were the fact that there are no other squads left from Serie A is a lot of motivation for Inter on behalf of the entire league and Italy, to be honest. And
but props to the Dutch league for getting two teams in the last 16.
True. And I don't really know much about Feyenoord. I'm not going to pretend like I know much about Feyenoord, but I'm going to go in this case, same with you. The fact that they're only a 12% favorite to make it through is enough for me to just default to Inter in this case. Normally, I wouldn't just go. We both pick PSV, who are almost as bad underdogs on paper, to be honest. And we both picked the underdog there. But yeah, here
it's contextual. Inter's too disciplined. They're too disciplined. I just don't see them over two legs. In one game, anything can happen. In two legs, I just think they're going to know what they have to do to advance. They're going to be too good. They're going to be too much. Their squad's too deep. They are. Look, they're going. It's a battle. Serie A right now, the top four. It's 8 points. It's top five. It's 8 points separated.
Yeah.
It's great. Serie A is amazing. The La Liga title race is amazing, which adds extra pressure for the top teams in those leagues because they can't. There's no rest, right?
Yeah.
So that could also affect some performances, but we'll find out. That's the joy of it, and I cannot wait to watch. Real Madrid tonight. Very, very excited.
Yeah,
and PSG to Liverpool tomorrow. Those are the games that I'm gonna watch personally.
True.
In terms of
and for those, we could have glossed over this earlier on, but I'm sure anyone who is looking closely at this visual, you can see the percentage odds of each team at each round. We're not really looking ahead at their odds if any team theoretically makes it into the semifinals and the final and so on. But if you want, you can take a close look if anyone's interested. So we'll do a quick recap here. Why not?
Yeah.
So PSV is about a 20% underdog versus Arsenal at 80% favorites. We're going with both of us are going with PSV.
Mm-hmm.
Real Madrid is like 55 to 60% favorite over Atleti. Andy's going to go with Real Madrid. I'm going with Atleti here. Liverpool is at least a 60% favorite, if not more. You know what? Respect to PSG, the fact that they're even at 37% against Liverpool, who are one of the favorites in this competition, says a lot.
They're a good squad. I mean, they're a good squad. They're a good squad, PSG. But is it going to be?
Yeah,
it's just like
it shouldn't be enough. They might shock the world. It shouldn't be enough, and both of us are going with Liverpool.
Yeah.
Club Brugge is a decent 29%. It's not great, but we're both going with Aston Villa here. Barcelona is a heavy favorite. Yeah, close to 80% favorite. We'll see. That could be very spicy. Benfica might, make some noise there. You are going with Lille. I'm going to go with Lille. Dortmund. it's close
Even
to a
though I
toss up.
want to see Dortmund, Barcelona, I have a funny feeling that Jonathan David, like, let's see. I have a funny feeling he's going to put a few goals in, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah, we'll
see.
see. And then both of us are going with Leverkusen, who on paper seem like underdogs. We both think maybe it's a bit closer to 50-50, to be honest. And then we're both going with a heavy favorite in Inter to wrap it up.
Yo,
Cool.
nice. All right, sweet.
All right.
Excellent. That was a good time.
We'll call it there, and we'll have a different topic, quite possibly soccer related, for episode 3. And on any given episode, we will elaborate on what the topic will be at the beginning of the episode. So it may not always be soccer related.
Cool. If the Atletico Real Madrid game is quite epic, we can easily just do a match review on that since we're probably going to watch it together. So I kind of like
as
that.
well. Yep.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Good time.
Many options.
Love it.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. And I'll see
All
you
right.
later as well. All right.
Peace.
See you. Peace.